It is finally time. This game is finally here. Zenith. Now, this one's been on my radar for a while. I've been following its development very handily. And 10 months ago, I put out a community post saying I was doubtful, calling it the next No Man's Sky, if you will. Well, 10 months later, I seem to have been put right on my ass because they proved me wrong. Zenith is incredible. There's no, well, I wouldn't say there's no lack of content, but there's no lack of care. They clearly cared about this game, and I clearly cared about playing it. I could not get myself off of this game for the first couple of days, and finally when I was able to regain some sense of self, I already put on my VR headset and I was back in. There's really nothing I can do. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about some things that I noticed while playing Zenith, some things I loved, some things I really didn't like, and just give general feedback on the game. First, let's start out with the likes. I mean, come on, it's a VR MMO. And not just any VR MMO. Not some shitty game like Orbis. I'm sorry, Orbis, but you look like Rec Room if Rec Room was made by 5-year-olds. And not just played by 5-year-olds, you feel me? Zenith looks incredible. So many different locales. Personally, the Fractured Plains are my favorite locale. I feel like they're just done the best overall, because, I mean, that's what they kept showing in the trailers. I do like the desert as well. Tangled Cove is just a great place to be, very ancient. The different locales really added so much to the experience because it made me keep going, what's next? Where could I possibly go next? What's the next beautiful location for me to unlock? And not to mention playing with friends. Now, Zenith has like 100 different servers to play on, and my friend group and I decided to pick Lightning US West. Well, not the best pick since none of us even live in the West, but we chose it. And it was a blast. There was not many people online, just us, so whenever you saw another high-level player, it was probably one of your friends and you could just talk. I think my best moments of playing Zenith so far have been grinding quests with a buddy and talking about stupid shit. It's good old gaming fun. It's what I play games for. I loved it. Not to mention the combat. Let's get into the combat real quick, because the combat is a lot of fun. Personally, I picked the Tank Mage. The Tank Mage, really cool. People think he's broken as shit, which is fair. When I fought 20 enemies at once and didn't die, I probably should have picked up on that. But no, it's fair and balanced. Please don't nerf him. No nerfs are needed, really. If you really think about it, being able to kill an entire horde by yourself makes the character balanced. Okay, no it doesn't, but please don't nerf him. I love him. The tank is so much fun. Now, I have never tried Blade Master, and the different responses from Blade Master have been interesting. On one hand, my friend Starblast says he likes it, but that he thinks that Mage would be more fun. And on the other hand, my friend Kazuto says that it sucks balls. So, two different ends of the spectrum there, in many senses. Another high point for me is the magic casting system. My god, is it made well. This is the best magic has ever felt in VR. Games like Blade and Sorcery don't even come close. It just feels so fluid. It feels so interactable. It just feels right to cast spells in VR. Finally, a game got it right, and damn does it get it right. I never got sick of casting combinations with my different hands, doing weirdo cool shit, comboing spells. Loved it, every moment of it. Let's talk about the music real quick. Holy shit. The music is so good. It just fits each area so well. And not even to mention the main theme. I have listened to that bitch on repeat. The girl who sang it sung in Nier Automata, which won Game of the Year for soundtrack. She also sung in Dark Souls 2. How the hell did they get this girl? But they couldn't make a greatsword. Okay, no, I'll stop. This is the part of the video where we start segueing into the negatives of Zenith. Zenith has many glaring issues. A big one I'd like to bring up is the quest system. The quest system's not inherently bad. It's quite basic, in fact. You talk to an NPC, gives you a quest, do the quest, you get EXP. But the problem with it is that the later you go on, the more EXP is required to level up, obviously, like games like RuneScape. And this causes a divide where my next story quest doesn't give me nearly enough XP to get to the next story quest. So I can't continue the story without having to level up. So I'm forced to grind these quests. I'm forced to grind events, which is fine. The events are fun, but doing them for the 10,000th time just so you can get that little bit of XP it gives you is really not that worth it. I resorted to kill quests, which actually provided quite a bit for just mindlessly grinding enemies, which is what I do best. Another thing I'd like to touch on is the weapon variety. Zenith is not batting 1,000 in any means. It's really, really shallow. There are two weapon types, blasters and swords. And the swords are just dual swords. Now, I have not descended to enough fatherless behavior to Kirito dual-wield swords in a game yet That's not true. I definitely have multiple occasions. Hell, I play Attack on Quest, and that game's about dual-wielding swords. But please, please, that's not the case. I went with the blasters, because I'm cultured like that. Another problem I have with the game is the way loot divvies up. Monsters drop loot. They also drop augments for your previously gained abilities to make them better. And it's all chance-based. There's no, like, surefire way to get better loot, except for crafting, which is broken beyond all means because crafting gives you so much better gear than you could ever obtain normally. I don't know why you'd ever not craft. You've played Minecraft before, you know crafting. Obviously, gotta connect with the audience somewhat. Crafting seems way more rewarding than going out and killing enemies. I guess you have to kill enemies to craft, but you only have to do events to craft, so why grind kill quests at all? You can do events, I guess, to get XP. See, this problem is that crafting is so much more rewarding than anything else. Granted, it does give you a surefire way to get cool stuff, but it also still has loot rolls on it, which means that if I want a Vanguard piece of gear, I have to pray to Lord Buddha to get it. Otherwise, I'm SOL. Speaking of praying to Lord Buddha, the Godstones, or your upgrades to your abilities. I have not gotten a legendary to any of these, no legendary rarity, and the only magic rarity I got, which is, by the way, like, second highest tier, was an ice ball, which is the most useless piece of shit. I'm basically throwing snow at them. Why would I throw snow at an enemy? I guess there's that one episode of SpongeBob. But that doesn't matter. I didn't even know legendary rarity existed until somebody told me about it. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe my luck is absolute dog shit, which it definitely is. The amount I would have to grind in order to get my perfect build just seems boring after a while. I don't want the game to get boring. I want to create, like, my cool-ass build. Granted, it's an MMO, so grinding is the name of the game, and having fun is more of a side thing you do. Another few things I want to highlight real quick. The flying system is dog shit until you turn on sensitive flying. When you turn on sensitive flying, it is like discovering that you actually do have a Nigerian prince ancestor and you get all of their inheritance. It is amazing. Sensitive flying has a little bit of a skill curve, but once you learn to use it, you'll never go back. And normal flying just seems almost worse by design. I don't know why it's not on by default, but I think the biggest tip I can ever give is to turn on sensitive flying. Flying will be so much better to you, and you'll just be able to conserve everything better and get farther with flight. Same amount of stamina. Speaking of stamina, that's actually another down point I had. The tiers required to get more stamina, just that little bit more stamina, is outrageous. In Legend of Zelda, which it clearly borrows from, you need 4 orbs from 4 dungeons in order to level up stamina or health. In Zenith, you need 10, then 20, then 30. I'm not past 30 yet. How the hell? Granted, I've been looking for these things. Whenever I see one, I get it. But I guess it wants me to, like, drug-sniffing dog out these bitches. The point is that I feel like you don't really have that much stamina as it is, and the amount of work needed to get more is egregious at best. But with all that out of the way, I can clearly say that I love Zenith. I think it is an incredible game. And if you haven't already, buy it. I played it on PC VR personally, but I've heard the quest port's just as good. And that's going to do it for this time. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about Zenith. Dislike it if you dislike it, like if you like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.